how's it going? I loaded up some new loops the other day. Kind of when I do my stand-up, what I do is I've loaded pads on an app on my phone. The app is called Sway, and what I do is I kind of just press different buttons as they happen. So if the drum's going, yeah, that's Morgan's mother. She sent that in there last week. She came to visit and said, "I really like your live stream."
Barbara, I'm ashamed.
Do you not recognise Barb's? Yeah, there she goes. Yeah.
When did you cook that one up? You've been sitting on it all day, haven't you?
I was trying to avoid Morgan all day because he says I'm going to tell him a funny joke. Alright, I'll do my serious intro now. Hello and welcome to the internet. I'm going to look over at camera 2 someday. We should try that next week. I'll look at camera 2 and go, this week. And then just jump back, this week. Cool, I done it. Good work, Josh. Josh is the pro. He's outside. He's working down in Surrey somewhere. I can't talk to Josh. He's the real charmer. He should be hosting this. Yeah, we're having a pretty good day so far. Me and Morgan are after getting very regimented with this live stream. We're really hitting it hard. Now we start at the crack of noon. We really hit the streaming hard at noon. We do our workout in the morning, have a bit of food, and then noon we have our meeting. And then we discuss all the problems that has built up since 9 a.m. that morning that's going to happen that we need to sort out for 8 p.m. that evening. Yeah, we do a little meeting, we start, and then we head off. We say what we're going to do for the day. So I'd plan, I'm going to rip the audio from this, and I'm going to kind of put little breaks in here. I'm going to make highlights of the previous night's podcast, and then put it all up on Spotify or something like that. And then Morgan says, yeah, I need to do this promo, I need to do that, I need to kind of make sure that goes out, I need to book the guest for tomorrow. And then we reconvene at about 5 o'clock and we have dinner. And no doubt, Morgan, you've had a great day today.
It's been so good.
Yeah.
It's been the best of days.
I had a phone call with all the directors of Angel today at 1 p.m. and then I just continued to work until 6 p.m. on all the problems we discussed. Who knew a company during lockdown takes a lot of management? But don't worry, it's going to be all right. It'll be grand. What are we doing? On the stream today, John Long on today. John's a friend of mine. We've been gigging for a good while. I'll ask him exactly when we started gigging, but it was a good while ago when we first started gigging. We were rarely kind of on the same bill, even though we're around a bit, because I used to do a lot of music in my set, and he was also a musician or guitar player as well. Except he started to MC more, and then I started to do kind of straight stand up a bit more, and then we started being put on the same bill a bit more. So it was nice to chat to him. He's a very, very sound dude. I think he's from England, but don't hold it against him. Most of the comics are, and his camera on his laptop is quite good. More so, a lot of comics have very poor laptops because it's difficult to be a comic, so they have poor webcams. But his is fucking right up there, so we can look forward to some sweet visuals. All right, already there. What I'm going to do is, so we'll chat to him for a bit, then we'll show some stand up at about 7:30 or so. And then we'll go back, we'll chat a little bit longer, and we'll see how he's dealing with lockdown, what he's getting up to, and no doubt, does he have any recipes for me? So if he's not queued up already, you can queue him up, and I'll say hello. All right, John, can you hear me all right?
I can. Hello, mate.
Oh, man. Thanks for coming on the live stream. Very, very cool. What type of laptop are you working with there? Give us the deets.
It's a MacBook Air.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
From about 2008, I think. It's an absolute workhorse.
Did you have to use a time machine to get that into the current present day or something, or where did it come from exactly?
Yeah, box fresh. It's tragic circumstances that I can't go into, but yeah.
All right,
it's been preserved.
We'll talk off air. Yeah, who are you isolating with? Are you isolating housemates, or who do you have with?
With my girlfriend in Croydon. It's her flat, basically. So, I mean,
nice.
that's why it looked nice. I heard you saying, nice visuals. It's her flat, basically.
Yeah, it touches the girl's flat about it, more so than the single comic flat.
Hey, I don't know. I could have this taste. This could be my taste.
It's just me and Morgan living here, and we've turned our living room into like a production studio.
It's quite nice seeing you in the room, though, in the green room.
Yeah.
It brings it home. It's like, I like it.
John has a different view of me. The way we've it set up here is the kind of laptop down there, and I'm kind of looking, so he kind of sees it's not actually Miami behind me there. It's actually a green screen.
Oh, sorry, I've broken the illusion. Sorry.
No, my audience are very clever. Like they're really into that. They know that. They wouldn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
But I had a joke the other day, and let me see, can I remember it exactly? Oh yeah, it was instead of the green room, we've really reinvented the place, and now it's the green screen room.
Very good. Sorry, I deliberately left a little time for you to sweat in a time delay, but that
was good. trying to make me nervous on my own show. Not going to happen.
I'm trying to unsettle you. It's a power move.
Oh yeah. Very, very powerful move. What's are you a tea drinker? Are you?
I'm drinking tea. Yeah.
Do you drink tea late into the day? There's caffeine in tea, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the last one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I used to drink tea, right? Because I was drinking so many cups of tea. Because back at home, I counted before, and I think my mum has like 14 cups of tea throughout the day. Like she's just just constantly drinking it all the time. She has the first one as soon as she wakes up in the morning. Like she literally sits in bed and drinks it. Then she has another as she makes breakfast, and then another before she leaves the house. So she's having 3 cups of tea before she even goes. And she's a teacher, so she's probably just drinking tea the whole day. But it doesn't really affect her. So I was doing the same, and I thought there was no caffeine. I thought there was very little caffeine in it compared to like a cup of coffee or that. So I was just drinking it the whole time. But no, it's like there's loads of caffeine in it, and then when you give it up or you don't have it, you realise that it was kind of hitting you a bit more. Not as much as coffee. I think there's like about 70 milligrams of caffeine in a coffee, but like green tea is 30, but like black tea is like 50. Yeah.
You know a lot about caffeinated drinks, James, and I like that about you.
I'd like to say that that's the extent of my knowledge, but we barely scraped the surface there.
I know, that was the tip of the iceberg, I can tell.
I could take a long dark road worth of caffeine, and should you have it in your life, should you not? It's something I'm always kind of wondering, like, but yeah. What
are your thoughts on the sort of South American teas, the yerba mate stuff?
Yeah, it's like I've never made it. I've seen it a few times. Mate is the green one with it. It's made of green dust, is it? And then you kind of whip it up.
Yes, there's a couple different types. There's one that's like very luminous. I don't know what that's called. It's very, very bright green. But then that's like matcha or whatever it's called.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of. That. Yeah, I'm thinking of that one.
Matcha, yeah. But then there's one that Lucilla would drink as well, the Argentinian thing. You know, where it's like you have like in a wooden gourd.
Yeah.
Straw.
Lucilla's a comic. She's my housemate. She usually lives here, but she ended up isolating outside lockdown somewhere. But I think it's called Mata maybe. But
something like that.
Basically, it's like loads of ground up green tea leaves or something, and then it's like half you fill the mug up with it, and then you pour a little bit of boiling water over it, and then there's a straw going down to the bottom, and then she just sips on it all day. And she gets clever ideas, and then she starts hallucinating for a while. But I think that's part of it. I don't know.
Well, I wanted to do it because I saw, like Messi and Suarez having them before a game, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get really good at football if I drink one. It doesn't work that way, but they are extreme, like caffeine. It blows your head off. I like it.
Do you think? I thought Messi and Suarez, they've been practicing like 12 hours a day for their whole life, and they're very talented as well. Would that feed into like the quality of football that they put on display, or is it purely down to the tea?
Well, it's either that or the tea, and I didn't have access to. I didn't have access to 20 years of hard work and diligence, so I was just like.
It was worth the toss up. It's like, oh, maybe if I just drink the tea. Imagine if that was it. It was the tea. You just drink the tea. I did it.
I know. It would be brilliant. I would. It wasn't. Sorry to break it to you. You still play football, don't you? With some comedians somewhere, don't you? Like a very loose sort of five-a-side, mixed ability group.
No man, don't put yourself down. I've heard good things.
Do you want to know? Ali Woods is the best footballing comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm one of the worst, but it's a mixed level. It's quite fun.
Yeah,
Barry Ferns is shockingly good.
Really?
He turned up going, "Oh, I don't know what a ball is. I forget. And then he's like a hustler. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He got played.
That's classic Barry. Like he comes in, oh, is this a comedy club? Is it? And then goes up and smashes it for 28 minutes.
Very enigmatic, yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, so where's the microphone? It's like, hey.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a few different comedy, soccer, 5-a-side, 7-a-side things and stuff like that, isn't there? I know there's one. There's like, I think there's the big one, and then there's loads of the small ones as well. Yeah.
There is one that seems to be the one that everyone's like, oh my god. And someone in our team went and played on and reported back.
Yeah.
And said it was too fraught with pressure about being around all his heroes. Or, you know.
It's not even like big comics. It's like, it is big
it's
comics.
Daniel Kitson and people like that.
Yeah, it's big comics, but then it's also not just like TV big comics. It's in like some of your favorite comics ever. You know.
Yeah, it's comics. That's what makes it daunting. It's not Michael McIntyre and John Bishop. It's it's like Daniel Kitson and I don't know who plays now, but
Tim Key was playing. Yeah.
Yeah, all those kind of people.
Them,
and then some classic like Ivor Dembina does that one, I think.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
Yeah.
That I heard Danny Kitson talk about that. He set that up. He set that soccer game up like.
Right.
I think it was back in the 90s or whatever it was. I don't know. It was a long time ago, or maybe it wasn't that long ago. It was a good while ago anyway. I don't know how old he is. Back in 1422.
And what were they drinking? Was it tea?
No, the tea still was thrown over from the Boston Tea Party. It hadn't got any. But they set it up a long time ago. And he said it's not really football. It's more like walking football, he described it as, where they kind of just have a walk around and play football, and it's just a bit of crack. It's kind of fun. That's like, oh, that's totally what 5 and 7-a-side should be. It should be a bit of fun.
Yes. You do get that. That is a sport, walking football. They do it for the sort of, over 50s. They had a walking FA Cup, I think.
Ah.
That's what, I'm going to play when I'm in my 50s.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to play now. I used to play soccer when I was younger. I always played soccer and Gaelic football. I really liked them, and I wasn't like really good at them, but I gave it a good shot. I was a left-footed player, so I always got a space on the left wing.
Oh yeah, you'd be in demand.
Yeah, so even though a lot of right-footed players, their left foot was better than my left foot, they still gave me a shot. It was very kind of the management.
It's very sweet, yeah. Gaelic football, what's that one? Is that sort of a rugby and football mix? You can use your hands, right?
Yeah, you can use your hands. So it's very like all those kind of sports, all those football games are kind of similar in some ways. But Gaelic football, the main difference is the pitch is much bigger. It's about twice the size nearly. And you have a goal which is worth 3 points, and then if you kick it over the bar but between the two posts like a rugby post, you get 1 point for that. There's 15 players on each side. You can every 4 steps you have to hop the ball or you have to solo it. That's where you just kick it up to yourself and keep running. You're allowed shoulder. You're allowed kind of push off a little bit and stuff.
Not far away from Aussie rules either. Like similar-ish to that.
Yeah, it's much more similar to Aussie rules than even soccer or something like that. Yeah.
At the beginning of that, I wanted to ask you the question. That's the one where you can use your hands, but I guess subconsciously I didn't think that the viewers would know what hands were, so I went hands. Is that the one where you use your hands?
These things on the end of your arms.
Yeah. So
that's
professional, James.
That's going to happen a lot more now. I think. Do you reckon the elbow bump? That's going to be the main thing. That's what people are going to be into.
Yeah, maybe, or yeah, I think so. Or like that kind of more of a forearm. Yeah, that kind of thing that much cooler people than me can pull off. Yeah, it's like a fist pump, but not quite.
Yeah, be careful. So if you do the foot tap where you just tap feet or something like that, that's an alright one.
Yeah, turn it into the Onana challenge on TikTok, and then you're away.
Yeah, as long as they don't lift one foot and then you kick the other foot, then they're fucked.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry, old
always
man.
Happening.
If it wasn't the virus that'd get you, it'd be me. I was looking at that thing that came out today. I don't know what time it was released at, but the government is on about doing these 3 different phases. You have the red, the amber, and the green phase. Have you ever seen of that, about how they're going to kind of get rid of lockdown? And they're throwing around, I don't know how true this is or something like that, but like 11th of May and then 25th and then 5th of June. So I think it's like 2 weeks in between each of them. Red phase, they get rid of a few things. So like schools open up, little basic stuff like that. And then next one then is public transport. And then after that, there's like gyms and non-essential stuff. But there's no talk about comedy clubs, to be honest. So
I think we're going to be last on the list, which is a shame. I quite like that system though, because that seems like they're giving freedom like a soft launch. Do you know what I mean? Like they're trialing it in a few sectors, see how it goes.
But like they done this lockdown, and we've been, how long have we been locked down for now, Morgan? It's like
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Close to 6.
Yeah, so it's only now that they're seeing. So it's nearly 6 weeks in. It's only now that they're seeing kind of a change. They're only now kind of seeing if the lockdown is working. They're kind of seeing things that are beginning to kind of stagnate. The cases aren't going up and stuff like that. So that's after 5 weeks. So if they do these phases every 2 weeks, they're ramping it up. There won't be enough time to see if the red phase is making things worse or better. So I don't know what they're thinking with that. Maybe they're still working it out. But man, I wish.
I think it's just what they're telling us so that we don't get so bummed out about the fact it's another 2 months. Really.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a promise. Oh no, promise we'll go to that amber soon. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit longer.
What people
seems too short.
Yeah. What people want is they want a way out of the situation. Everyone's unhappy, everyone's losing money at the moment, and they're worried about the future and that. What they want is just a leader to stand up and say, this is what we're going to do, and this is the road to going to be the thing. But they don't know, no one knows. So like, it's not really fair to kind of expect a leader to stand up and do that. And then if he stands up, if Boris went up and was actually leader and says, we don't know how to get out of this and we're trying our best, but things change all the time, everyone would be like, he shouldn't be leader. We need lies. We need lies to make us happy. Where is he? He's still on holidays in the Canaries or something at the moment, isn't he?
He has a lot of holidays. He missed the first 5 emergency meetings, and largely because he went on holiday in February, didn't he, for like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, there was a picture floating.
He came back to do a fundraiser and then went back on holiday again. Jesus. During that time, he could have gone to an emergency meeting, but he was like, no. But I'll come back for the fundraiser. But I'm not coming back for the emergency.
And did you know that fundraiser was to fund the second holiday he was going on?
Yeah.
Little known fact.
So, I don't think there is a coronavirus. So.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's all just
fact.
Making Boris have more holidays. Man, I say he's so sickened. He was trying to be Prime Minister for ages, and now when he is, he's like, fuck it. I tried so hard. I wish so hard, and now I have what I've got. And oh no, it's not what I expected.
It's like every fable, yes.
Yeah, that's a joke I was saying before. I think I put it up on Instagram or something like that. It was Theresa May. She's like one of the ultimate winners for all of this. She's just like, yes, everyone's going to forget about me now. I did it. Her and the other one is Greta Thunberg. She wanted to get rid of all the planes, and fair play to her. She invented the virus. She put it out there. She got her way. Yeah.
I believe it or not, I've seen that going around, as well as a weird tweet from conspiracy people. Is that this was all invented by sort of like hardcore anti-environmentalist sort of terrorism groups. Yeah, that's what they thought.
It's a strange move. Why wouldn't they just make a virus that makes people not want to go to the airport? Like if they're so good at making viruses. That should
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I might just go on holiday to Brighton. Yeah, that's nice.
It wasn't a good plan on their part.
Yeah. What do you want to do? What do you want to do when this is all over? Like, what are you thinking? What's your big thing?
It's like, what, first thing I'm going to do when I get out?
Not even first thing, but what are the few things you kind of want to do once it's all over? Do you want to go on holidays? Is there certain friends you want to meet up with? Family?
Yeah, I think so. There's holiday, because I was on my first holiday in about 2 years, and I missed it because of this. So maybe that. Yeah, but then I don't feel like I want to go on a holiday because we wanted to go on a holiday because we just were like, we're so busy. We just want 2 weeks of not doing anything. Careful what you wish for. Now I don't really want to go. I want to go on a more extreme holiday. So maybe I'll go bungee jumping or something.
Careful what you wish for. You sound more sickened than fucking Boris Johnson, who wished to be PM.
Yeah, they're the two famous fables.
You're the only more sickened man than him.
In a children's book I'm reading called "Be Careful What You Wish For," we are the two main examples, and it's kind of a Cain and Abel thing. Our stories intertwine, and yeah.
Like if you thought Boris was bad, wait till you see what John Long wished for.
Is it too much to ask for the world to stop for just 1 minute?
Yeah. Looking wistfully out the window, please.
I do remember not long ago going, I wish I had Bernard's watch and could just freeze the world and have put it on pause for a bit. So it's not.
Oh man, I think I I had the thought of that, but I had the thought of that like first week into lockdown. I was just like, I wish I could just pause it now and just kind of get on with a few bits and pieces and just chill out and stuff like that. But that's kind of happened. It's kind of gone on a good while now, which is nice.
No, I mean before any of it happened, like I was just finding, it's like God, everything just moves too quick. I wish there was a bit of time to catch up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then I had that thought every day, so it would be weird if it didn't once happen.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
like
think it's my fault. I don't think it's my fault.
the things that we want to catch up on is we want to write some jokes, to do some songs, then we want to test them out with an audience, and then rewrite them, and then test them out with another audience. Like that's the time that we want. we don't want just to be at home, nothing to do, like, and can't go anywhere.
No, it's not the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not finding it difficult to kind of enjoy lockdown in some ways like that, because like I definitely it's only become kind of, I've only realized it now in the past few weeks that with I like running the business here and booking shows and performing and like doing all that, like we had so much staff, and there were everyone had questions all the time, and everyone had problems all the time. We had to do rotas, and there was bookings, and there was reminders, and there was financial problems. There's loads of stuff, and I was always just kind of going through it, just sorting it out, doing things like that. But now when it's all over, I look back on it and I realize how busy I was all the time, and how much stress I had all the time, and I was just dealing with it because it was my life. Whereas now I have a complete break from it, and I'm kind of like, this is also nice, this is this is quite good.
Well, I think a lot of people are having that realization. I think a lot of people are, when they comes to putting back your life together again at the end of this, I think a lot of people aren't going to put certain bits back.
Yeah.
They're going to go, actually, like a lot of people are going to go, I can work from home most of the time, I think, and not get on a train and spend 2 hours of my day, up in,
I thought the people that would be fighting for not working from home would be the bosses of companies, just because they're a bit bitter, and they'd be saying, no, we need our employees to come in and work because I have to work. I thought to be a bit like that. But now what I'm reading online, because I read some of the business columns and things like that, that even the bosses and the people who own companies and stuff like that, they're very much saying, oh no, if they live and work outside London, they'll accept a slightly lower wage because they don't have expensive rent, and then he doesn't need to pay for parking for absolutely everyone. The boss can have a smaller essential core team in his office, and that's it. He doesn't need everyone there. And
it's a smaller office.
Yeah, it totally suits everyone. And then if people are, my brother said it the best. He says, if they're not working from home, they can easily just not work in the office either. Like they figure out how to not work no matter where they are. So it's like it's up to you, or up to the boss, or up to someone to just see what they're doing and make sure they're doing their work.
Yeah, exactly. I think exactly. I turn that into an art form, making 4 hours pass because I've done everything. And you looking at the watch till 5 o'clock before. You can. It's the same. You might as well be in your dressing gown when you're doing that.
Yeah, I still get dressed every day. Get dressed to go out, do all that. That's what they say. Like some of the things online, they kind of recommending that. Oh, you make sure you have your shower, put on some clothes, and set up a little home office, and just to get you in the mindset of working. But most of my friends are comedians. Like, what are they? They got to crack open a beer and pick up a mic, like, and just say, "All right, here we go." get in the zone.
Exactly, I don't think so. Oh yeah, just wear a suit all day, and then when it comes to 8 o'clock, just unbutton 2 of them and take the jacket off, take the tie away, and pretend that was your look.
Just rush out to work. Yeah. I think that one thing I want to ask you about. You and your girlfriend, are you vegetarian, or are you vegan, or what do you eat? I think you are.
I'm vegetarian, she's vegan, but like we're both we're both vegetarian going towards vegan. She's much closer than I am.
Yeah.
So she's closer to vegan and I'm closer to vegan.
And I say when you're living at home, and say the two of you just living together, when you cook together, it must be just vegan meals all the time then, if the two of you cook them.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
So I'm experimenting with different meals and trying out different stuff, and
you're a good cook, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm seeing what it's like. But say once you kind of get beyond the whole exciting bit of like, look at all this new stuff I can eat and stuff like that. What are your like staple meals? Like what do you kind of do regular? Like do you have
like curry's good.
What's that?
So we had a tofu tikka masala tonight. Like curry is good.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of curry is vegetarian, and then we use soy cream and tofu.
Is tofu, is that based off soy as well?
It is, yeah. Ideally, you don't want to be using too much soy because there's a problem with using too much soy. But for the most part, that's to do with too much soy milk and the soy they use in farming for feeding the cattle and things like that. I mean, there's a way to do soy sustainably, but you're right. Ideally, you would move away from that as well.
Yeah, but like, do you? Yeah, do you know, like, say if you're, because I heard what soy does, it raises your estrogen. Because I think that's.
I think that seems to be a myth that's going around the people that use the word cuck a lot.
Is that a joke? Like, is it?
I think it's people that drink bone broth and think Alex Jones is.
I drink loads of
JON man. Use the word sheeple a lot. People that think that.
I've totally fallen for that, but like.
You're not going to grow tits, James. Don't worry, it's fine. That's not the issue. And if it does make you more feminine, what's the issue? That's fine. Like they say that, like it makes you more like a woman. Like, well, good, because you are too manly. The people saying that are usually too far away from the feminine side of themselves. Anyway.
But the worst thing is, John, I think maybe it was started as a joke, but I'm pretty sure there's scientific papers out there that is actually saying it does raise your estrogen if you eat it too much. Like people are actually saying that, like if you eat it too much.
Oh shit! I'm gonna look like a fool now.
So I think it was a joke, but also it's true.
I think it's one of those things where there is evidence for it. If you're drinking, it's one of those things where I would be interested to see how much you would need to consume
that's
to have
probably
those effects.
You probably have to have it like 3 meals a day for a few months before there's any noticeable thing, and it's probably only
I
some
don't
people.
drink soy milk. I just have tofu and like I guess corn is soy based, but like for is it not okay? But for the one my girlfriend corrected me.
Do you have Morgan helping you out there as well? Do you?
But oat milk is the best one. Oat milk's the one.
My favorite is I use coconut milk. That's my favorite one, just because I absolutely love coconuts.
Well, that's great. Oat milk is the best in terms of sustainability. I mean.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Carbon footprint wise, it's very low.
Oh, there's so many different reasons to be vegan.
And it's good in coffee. It's good in coffee,
oat milk is, yeah. I use coconut cream in coffee. Sainsbury's do coconut cream. It's
that
really
is delicious.
It is really, really
But then
nice.
you've got a lovely coconutty coffee.
I've made some vegan meals for some people, and like they're just blown away with how amazing I make them. And I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Well, I think if you're good at making food, you can make great vegan food. It's not about the vegan, it's about you, and you're good at making food, so you can make a really good. There's good. What did you make? What was the thing that blew people away?
Sorry, I'm just going to take a timestamp there where you were giving me loads of compliments. I'm going to release that as a highlight. Doesn't get many views or likes around them, but I'll keep.
Oh, while we're here, then you're very handsome and.
Thank you. You're getting all this, Morgan.
Oh yeah.
And since you dropped a bit of the muscle mass with the yoga, you've actually, I think, proportionally really suit yourself at the moment.
No, that must be the trick of the camera. I'm more ripped than ever before.
No, you look like you've really let it go to.
Don't let the viewers at home lose the image.
Still pretty ripped, let's be fair.
I'm an absolute beast. Jesus, yeah. Do you do a bit of exercise as well? I suppose you do your football. That's what you like doing.
Yeah, I don't like running though. So outside of that, that's the only really option. So me and my girlfriend like rented bikes. So we just go on bike rides every day, which is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you tried out those electrical Boris bikes? Do you ever seen them?
Yeah, there's none around here, but I would.
Yeah.
But I've seen them. Because I see people really smugly going up hills and not pedaling, and I think.
Yeah, I might do that. I wonder if I allowed go on cycles, big cycles during lockdown, because that could be good crack. Cycle into the.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's part of it's one of the things you can do.
Might do that. That could be a nice day out.
Just don't cycle into people and
Yeah. Don't know how to turn off the electric bit and just down the escalator into the tube like.
Yeah. And if you're using one of those share bikes, you do have to mist it and give it a bit of a scrub.
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's the only issue. We rented bikes; you can get them off the council. Council have done their scheme where if you want to rent bikes, they'll bring them to your house, give you all the hat, give you the helmet, give you the everything.
Yeah,
I'm in love with the council right now.
That's strange.
It's bringing me really together. The NHS and the council. I don't know about you, but this is making me more in love with small. Bureaucracy and small government.
No, it's cool. You say
local government. Sorry.
Even if you take that down to the small level, like I had an accountant, and I'm always just trying to work with them all the time. And it's tricky. Yeah. All the accountants are fucking. You try and work with them, but throughout this, he's had every answer to the question. He's sorted out all the staff with the furlough and everything like that, and he's just fucking really come through for us. So it's good. He's a sound accountant. Nice. It's happened. We found one.
Keep him.
Yeah.
Don't you let him go, okay?
No,
You keep him.
he's the best. He's the best.
No. A lot of people are like that right now, and I'm getting quite emotional, like easily. Like, so just someone does something vague. People are being nice or going above and beyond, left, right, and centre right now, and I'm so emotionally vulnerable that when it happens, I'm just like, God bless you, Amazon delivery man, for making, whatever. I'm just finding, yeah. So anyone that does anything remotely nice. I saw someone just delivering medicine the other day, and I almost cried. It was outrageous.
Do you think maybe the reason you're feeling like that is all the soy you're eating?
You fucking soy boy cuck.
You want to get on the coconut shit, man.
Yeah, get on the manly coconut milk, yeah?
Yeah. Coconut milk.
You cocoa bros.
At least we can look back on that as a nice little laugh we had at one stage.
Yeah, hey, it's a beacon. It's a little
even in the dark
glimpse.
The dark times. Yeah, you're looking
Glimmer.
up at your girlfriend there. You're like, more tea, please. Was it?
No, she's there. She's over here. She's just there.
Is she on? What's her name again?
Hannah.
Hello, Hannah. Oh, she can't hear me probably.
Yeah. James says hi. Hi. She says hi.
There's been every time I interview a comedian with a girlfriend, they often do sit in the room right beside them, and I questioned a few people on it, and they're worried that I was going to make them say something that'll get them cancelled. So the girlfriend there is a bit of a backup.
No,
just to make sure.
for us it's just lack of other seating.
You have 2 seats in the house. One room.
It was there or the poof, and that's
right.
Not got good lumbar support. Yeah. But she complimented you recently as well. Because last time she saw you, she went, after you left, she went, he's looking well.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, he's got into yoga in a big way. And she was like, maybe I'll get into yoga.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, big fan of yoga. I took 3 days off this week because I have an app on my phone. I monitor my heart rate and my heart rate variability with the Whoop strap here. And I woke up a couple of days in a row, and even though I hadn't worked out too hard, my body hadn't fully recovered. So I took a few days off. I took like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off, and I got back at it today. So I went for a couple of miles run this morning, and then when I came back and done my yoga, like I was so stiff. Like I'd taken 3 days off, and I felt so stiff from it. It took me like a good half an hour to kind of loosen up properly again. Whereas usually about 5 minutes in, I'm kind of good to go. But it
falls away quite quickly with yoga. So it's like, do you remember in like the noughties or maybe the 90s, they had suddenly those things that you could wear on your stomach to give you abs, and they give you a little shock or a little convulsion. Do you know what I mean? Like a little belt.
Yeah.
And apparently they really worked, but the second you stop wearing them, it just all disappeared really quickly.
Yeah.
So is that the same with yoga? So if you do yoga and you get in shape, you have to do yoga all the time, or it's gone.
It's not gone, but as in, like, say I didn't do it for 3 days, and it took me about half an hour to get back in the zone. Whereas
fuck yoga. No.
If I'd done it every day, it would only take me about 10 minutes to kind of get back in the zone.
Like, okay. Oh well, that's not too bad.
Yeah. But I say, like, do you know those ab machines? I remember seeing them like they usually advertised when Gladiators was on or something like that. Like, it's like, you want abs like those people here, do this. I often thought, like,
they knew what they were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only, when you talk about them, I'm only trying to figure out exactly how they work. Like, but they must just shock your muscle. It contracts the muscle, keeps it contracted for a while because it's damaged or something. But then when you stop using it for a day or something, or a couple of days, it just relaxes again, so you don't get that little bulge.
Yeah, I think so. It's really short-term muscle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess so. I don't know enough about the...
I say it's similar to like getting a pump at the gym, because if you go to the gym and you work out, you just, like, a lot of blood goes into your muscles, they contract a lot, so you just get a pump and you look better. Whereas if you don't do it for a couple of days, you go flat. So that's what, like, so if you go every day, you just feel strong because your muscles are full of blood, they're repairing because you damaged them, and then they're going to grow stronger.
They just have a bit of, right, okay.
So it's probably the same with that. I the only type of machine that would work to get abs that works like that ab machine would be if you put it on your stomach, and every time you go to eat something shit, it just shocks you.
Like my grandma had a dog that wouldn't shut up, and it would bark all the time, this little Westie, and so they got a little collar that had every time it barked, it sprayed it with citronella in its face.
Oh.
It's quite cruel, really.
Yeah.
But that would also work for, you gotta get... Maybe.
Once you reach your calories for the day, you just get lemon juice in your eyes for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, and then how much do you want that? You know.
Yeah. You sent in a clip for us, some stand-up. Was it? I think it was recorded here, which is always good because we have a nice setup.
Your archives, yeah.
Yeah, the lads can start queuing it up there. Do you know? Have you seen it yet? Do you know when it was recorded? I think it was taken last year.
No, I got told that there was a recording from when you.
Yeah, we've a load of recordings in the archive. Every Friday and Saturday we do a From the Archive show. So if anyone at home wants to check that out, we just have a load of things lined up. But you're doing one. I think you done one last week, or you might be doing one in a couple of weeks. So we have the clip ready already. So we said we'd stick it up.
Oh, amazing!
So the guys can jump over to that now. We'll have a look at that, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Cool.
1, 2, 3, go crazy!
It was you that's the only one that waited right to the end. I appreciate you. My favourite already. What's your name? Laura's the best ever. Oh, sorry. No, you might have a chance. It's not the end yet. We've got 10 minutes. You need to swing me around. That sounded ruder than it was meant to be. I don't know why. My name's John Long. Nice to meet you all. It's my real name, by the way. That's the first thing I'll say, John Long, because a lot of people think it's a made-up name, stage name, because it kind of yeah, exactly, because it kind of rhymes. I get that. But it's my full name, my real name. My full name is Jonathan Longatham. So, call it that if you like. I'm from Lincolnshire. No, that is the reaction it deserves, don't worry about it, yes. Someone talking about Nathan? Are you talking about Nathan? It's that lady that learned to whisper in a helicopter?
No,
yeah.
because he plays the guitar as well.
Does he, Nathan? The Nathan that we all know?
Nathan has just gone to the toilet.
We all know Nathan, right? Oh, no, you guys know Nathan? The guy that left as soon as I came on? I love that guy. He endeared himself to me immediately, leaving the room at the mention of me coming on stage. That's how you get me on
Saw you
stage.
with a guitar, that's
And he
why.
was out of here, yes.
Telling you.
So on the spectrum we have Laura at this end, nailing it, and Nathan down this end. But he's got a way to come. When he gets back in here, I'm sure he's going to charm me, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We're fellow guitarists, yeah? We can start a band.
We've got a band.
He's got a band already.
Yeah.
How many members?
No, we've got, upstairs.
You've just met him. Oh, is this a Tinder date?
No!
No. How do you know Nathan?
10 months?
10 months? How is it like a friendship?
Oh
or-
my god.
Oh my god, they don't want everyone's attention, I'm kidding. Yes, you do, come on. Come on, tell us.
Can we just act neutral, please?
Yeah, of course we can. I won't fuck things up for you, Nathan, I promise.
Okay.
What was your name?
I'm afraid to say.
Okay, I'm afraid to say, well, lovely to meet you, and I'm John. This is Laura, she's great. Take notes. Everyone, be like Laura. She's brilliant. Is this your partner? No. Don't have more self-esteem. You went, no, I could never get Laura. Have you seen Laura? She's a goddess. Love you. What's your name? Lovely to meet you. I love yours. You spoke of nature. Your second favourite. Very good. But really close. Really close. Anyway. What was I saying? I'm from Lincolnshire here. Don't go there. I'm not recommending it, honestly. It's boring. It's where your vegetables are from. You're all very welcome. That's all, and that's all that's there. Farmland. It's very featureless, very flat. So flat they say, watch your dog run away for 3 days. And we do, for fun. So I moved to London for Wi-Fi more than else. And to meet people like you. So thanks for having me. I grew up in the Catholic Church, back in Lincolnshire. Any other lapsed Catholics in here now? Hello. Yeah. You're right, matey. Yes, don't go anymore. Don't really miss it. Miss one thing, and that's communion. Did you like communion? It's the best part, right? The snack break in the middle. Come on. If you don't know what it is, it's the wine and wafers. Yeah, I mean, it's more than that. I think it's like a light lunch. It is a whole thing. But no, that's what I was obsessed with. I think it was quite clever of them, because as a kid, you can't go straight away, right? You have to do your first communion, then you can go. And before then, that comes that bit in the service, everyone gets up, goes off to the altar, you're left like the only non-smoker in the pub watching the Coats. Really plays on your FOMO as a 6-year-old, doesn't it? Seeing them up there without you. You want to be up there where the action is, and they're all whispering to each other as well. What are you talking about up there? You're talking about me? A very needy 6-year-old. And I couldn't wait to find out actually what they were saying. I remember it really vividly, my first communion. He came up to me, the priest, he gave me the wafer, and he said, "Body of Christ." I said, "Oh, not too bad yourself, Reverend. Thank you very much." I have been working out. I'm glad somebody's noticed. I was a very ripped 6-year-old, you should know that about me. But I haven't got an individual compliment like, oh, legs of Christ. Eyes of Christ. Yeah, I think I just like the free booze as well. Everyone likes free booze, right? Yeah. Are we drinking tonight? Yeah, celebrate the victory. Yeah. Is it? Yeah? How do you feel about that? Yeah? Oh, yeah, pretty good. It's coming home. But it's quite an international crowd at the same time, so a lot of you, maybe your teams have gone out already, and so you have mixed feelings. I get that. I'm going to be respectful about it, but it is coming home, and I'm very excited. And I watched it on a big screen and got really into it, but now I'm a bit sweaty, so I'm going to make sure I just don't sound too close to you all. You didn't need to know that. Good. Good to know my inner monologue at all times. Yeah, keep that rolling. Cool. But what was I saying? Yeah, drinking tonight. What are you drinking, sir? Beer? Cheeky beer? Cider. Oh, cider man. And you? Beer? Just beer. These modest, simple people, humble people. Cider, beer, whatever. And yeah, I don't drink anymore because I'm really bad drunk. It's definitely something you can be good or bad at, isn't it? Do you think you're a good drunk, sir?
I hope so.
Yeah. I think you know your limits? Yeah, that's the key, I think. Limits, that's not hard to get. You don't drink first thing in the morning, do you? Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Major pitfalls. No, because that goes without saying, doesn't it? That is an unwritten rule. But the problem with the unwritten rules that go without saying is that people don't feel the need to either write them down or say them. And then idiots like me, who need things very explicitly written down or said, go out and do them. Yeah, when I moved to London, I started drinking in the morning. It made sense to me. You know, you wake up with so much guilt and shame about what you did the night before, you immediately start drinking and forget about it. Yeah. Regretfast, I called it. But you can't drink everywhere in the day. People will judge you. Nathan, good to see you, mate. So this band of yours. I was talking to. Oh, I don't know what. We didn't get her full name. But no, she was just telling us about your, just simple things like what band you're in, your penis length, that kind of thing. Simple stuff she shared with us. No, she was just saying about how you're in a band, and when she saw the guitar, she went, "Oh, Nathan will like you because he plays guitar as well."
Don't lie.
You play a banjo?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He plays the guitar.
You do. He's being humble. Is that being humble? Just the banjo? I think the banjo is like equally hard. Probably. It just makes you a bit more mysterious.
He's very good.
He's lying.
He's very good.
Is he? Aww. Aww. You just put an arm around her as if to say, thanks, babe. You backed me. I like that. It's a touching moment, wasn't it? I bet he's shit guitar though. get that vibe, don't you?
Come on, Nathan.
Well, he's not. No, that's not going to happen. We should do that. That'd be good. We should jam. Let's not jam. What's your band called?
I'm not in a band.
She told us you were in a band. What other lies did you?
Let's see you play something.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
We're excited.
Pardon?
We're excited.
Yes, I like you, Nathan. That's good. Good. He got us back on track. That was good. We were veering off, and he was like, "No, someone needs to steer this ship. Someone needs to steer it." Thank you, Nathan. Yes, I will. Yeah, I was saying I had to move to London. I didn't just move to London for Wi-Fi. I was being flippant. I moved for employment more than anything else. And I did find a job. Don't want to brag. I know times are tight. I found a job pretty much straight away in a waste and recycling factory. Hold your applause. Thank you. Thank you. Appropriate response. Why am I talking about the tip? I worked at the tip for a number of years. I was a tour guide. Yeah, a tip. Yes, I know. Are you thinking, do they have those? This one did in South London. So yes, and my job was to just explain to people what not to recycle. School tours mainly. It was really weird. And the reason it exists is because we're shit at recycling in London. Stuff we got given, shocking. I had to write a song about it. It's a song called "You Can't Recycle That." Okay. And sing along at the end. We'll go into the interval. It's going to be great. Hop on board. Nathan, you ready?
Yes.
There'll be some harmonising in the back. I'm going to love it. There are certain types of rubbish that don't go in the bin. Materials we can use again that we call recycling, like paper, cardboard, plastic too, glass and metal tins. But sometimes people get this wrong and they give us other things, so I feel the need to clarify so that we can get things clear about some things you can't recycle that we've received throughout the years. And I want you to all bear in mind these are 100% genuinely true examples from London. You all bear that in mind. And don't shoot the messenger. You can't recycle dead cats. I shouldn't need to say that. And yet at least 2 or 3 times a year, someone sends us through a dead cat. Yes. You can't recycle bullets or deactivated hand grenades. They look remarkably similar to non-deactivated hand grenades. I You can't recycle dildos. No, but seriously, we got lots and lots of those, and we don't know where they've been. By that I mean we know exactly where they've been, so stop sending us dildos. Obviously not addressing you specifically, it was more of a problem in the late 90s when I was there, but something of an epidemic in the southwest of London, it seems. Yeah, I get it, people think out of sight, out of mind, don't they? But it all has to go somewhere, and there are very real consequences sometimes. I once had to take a tour group around the recycling centre, and the tour group comprised of 15 women in their 80s as a WI group, and while stood at the conveyor belts, we were confronted by a dildo, yes, and I was forced to explain to all of them what a dildo was. And it's a very noisy building, and they were hard of hearing, so I had to shout, "It's a sex thing!" to 15 women in their 80s. It's a real event for my lifetime now, I can't scrub that away. And I don't want to explain to an 8-year-old woman what a dildo is again. Everybody now, I seriously get it. I don't want to explain. Very good already, I like it. To an 8-year-old woman. I appreciate it, front row. Thank you, nice baritone. What a dildo is again. And just the fellas now. Don't let me down, fellas. I don't want to explain. Thank you very much, and it's gone to an 8-year-old woman. Nice one, Nathan. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. What a dildo is again. Ladies, now it's your turn. Hi, beautiful. I don't want to explain. That's very nice already. To an 8-year-old woman. I appreciate harmonising in this section. I love it. What a dildo is again. Ladies, now. No, not ladies. Everyone all together. Hi. Shit, I fucked that up. I don't want to explain. Really get into it. Oh, yes. To an 8-year-old woman of all people. Can you imagine how that happened to me? What a dildo is again. So stop sending us dildos. Very good singing, everyone. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. All right.
We're going to take a little break. Woo!
And we're back. Nice one. Class. Well, thanks for doing the clip, John. Very, very sandy. Tell us about the you done the recycling song. I've seen that a few times. Is that where exactly did that come from? Did you actually work in a recycling plant?
Yeah, I still work part time for the. It's like a council education scheme they do. So they do school tours of. So one of them is a recycling centre, and yeah. So that happened as well. It wasn't a big group of people from the University of the Third Age. You ever heard of them?
No.
It's like a WI kind of thing, but for both sexes. It's for everyone. It's just basically if you're retired and you want to keep learning, and they go on loads of trips and have lots of lectures and stuff. And they came for a tour, and it was so sweet and lovely. But they were mostly sort of in their 70s and 80s, and they took them around. And and it's huge. I mean, it was. I swear to God, it was the size of my arm, like this big. And it was like really floppy and black, and but substantial. It was weighty. You could tell. The woman picked it up, and she started yelling over to her mate, and she was yelling in Polish. So they looked over but couldn't see what they were saying. And then there was a moment where they just turned around to me and went, "What's the commotion?" And it was just like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And a few of them clearly knew, and just were waiting,
Yeah.
just like toying with me.
So it was a group. It was a group of like an old people school tour. Is that what it was?
No, it was school tours mostly, but then sometimes we have things like, I don't know, like an adult group.
Yeah.
So they were just on a little trip to learn more about where their recycling went.
Oh.
And but they loved it.
Yeah, say they did with the fucking dildo flying around. This is great.
Would recommend. Yeah.
They see the dildo, they're all laughing, having a great time, and then some of the old dudes see the grenade and start having flashbacks of World War II, and it's like, it was meant to be a nice day out.
Yeah, I mean, as a trip, it does have peaks and troughs. I'll give it that. Yeah, but no, it was So all real.
Is it still open at the moment? It must be, like, because there's still recycling happening.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the public tip bit isn't open, but they still are. They're trying to say at the moment they're struggling a lot. Well, not less us, but a lot of people are struggling with getting the drivers and getting a lot of the waste industry is based on migrant labour, and a lot of people, especially in London, went home when this stuff started happening, and so there's been a lot of lack of getting the staff, having to get a lot of freelance workers, and so the recycling is still happening on a slightly reduced basis, but they're trying to tell people just cut down, don't do like fucking DIY. But everyone wants to do DIY right now. One of my next door neighbours is a fireman. He says it's really busy right now with loads of bonfires because people are just burning shit in their garden to get rid of it, and then these bonfires are going up.
Are you allowed back in Ireland? You're not allowed to do like backyard burning. That's the thing that you're just not allowed to do anymore.
No, you're not meant to.
Yeah, there's a dude. I won't
not like the good old days. I used to love a backyard bonfire, but we're not allowed.
I won't give away his address, but it's right beside the Bill Murray. But he's after gutting his garden. He's done a great job, like, he's really cleared it out. It was like a jungle, but full on cleared it out and everything. But he has this bin, this like kind of tin bin that he's just burning stuff in the whole time. And I was looking out because I'm a foreigner as well, and I was thinking, oh, I didn't think you were allowed to do that. Except of course you're not allowed to do it. Like, it's so bad for the atmosphere to be burning things at such a low temperature.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. We have bonfire night. You've bonfire. We have a different bonfire night back at home where we have. I think it's in June, where everyone in the village or the community comes together. We burn all our shit. And it's just like a farmer's thing, but it's so bad for the environment. Now, I love bonfire night because it's the only time of the year where all the neighbours get together, we all chat, we all swap food, and everyone brings something like. But I think we need to stop doing that, to be honest. It's just so bad.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, fireworks have got to go. Anything like that. When you look at any, so you do a bit of diligent recycling and you try to do a bit of whatever you do, and then you watch one sporting event in America, like their halftime show, where there's about 4,000 fireworks and big bolts of flames, and that's like a high school game as well. And you just think, what's the point in any of this?
It's not even that gets me. It's like it shows a oil well. This oil well has been on fire for 52 days. Like it's just burning so hard.
Oil, which is now free.
Yeah. In America. The oil prices have really dropped. I think it's dropped like 20% or 20 something quid off a barrel now at the moment. I think the reason it's dropped so much is because they only have so much storage, and they keep pumping it out because that's how their industry is made. It's made in a certain way where it can only pump out and store and sell at a certain rate, and then if it's not selling as much, it has to drop the price so it starts selling more because they don't have the storage.
More evidence that this is Greta Thunberg's work, by the way, that this is affecting the oil companies.
Yeah, the evidence is beginning to mount. Yeah, I say she doesn't call down to your recycling plant. She's like a celeb. She's like A-list recycler. You probably don't.
She doesn't talk to us anymore. She is, she's forgotten her roots a little bit in that regard. She doesn't talk to the lowly recycling plants.
Yeah, everyone's just by themselves now. I say she's just. Well, she didn't fly anyway. She's just all alone. You said to this, I suppose, call it. Oh, you released an EP called Isolation.
Yeah, self-isolation EP. So I just was trying to do something to stay busy. Yeah. In the I don't know if you found it. You get to the evening and you have some burst of adrenaline, and you just nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. But that's because you're used to doing something at 8 or 9, and then just going, I don't know what to do, and just pacing around. Just do something with that energy. Just went on GarageBand instead and just sort of recorded a few songs. Yeah. And so I put far too much work into it, if I'm being honest, in terms of the backing band.
Full backing band strings, really went for it.
I mean, it's stripped back to an extent, but still too much. And just recorded a couple of older songs and then a couple of newer ones.
Yeah. How many tracks are on it?
It's 4.
4 tracks. That's a nice EP. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little EP, and it's on Bandcamp as well. It's free, and there's like a little donation button if you're like one of rich people, but if you're not, it's free. It's just for a bit of fun.
That's very sandy, man. That's pretty good. You said there was did you write a couple of new tunes for it?
Yeah, one as well that my girlfriend wrote or helped me write and then sang about her perspective of it. And then one that was sort of almost finished, but it had like a last verse that was all about the audience and about someone I could see, and I just couldn't do that on a recording. So I did a verse about Corona virus stuff. And then the one that's coming out soon, hopefully, I'm going to do a music video of a new song I'm doing about conspiracy theorists.
Oh, cool, man! Now you got my attention.
So I got a song all about people that have gone in their flat a bit too long, and they've started to see the David Icke reality.
See the truth, as people
see
say.
The truth.
Yeah. See the
eyes are now open.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm only asking this now because I done an hour-long show last year, and I had about like 7 or 8 tunes in it. It was a good bit. But I never got hugely into anytime I recorded an EP, say even 5 or 6 years ago, I went to one of my friends who had like a decent setup and we just recorded it there. But what's your garage band setup? What is it? Is it you have your tasty MacBook and do you have a microphone?
Yeah.
Do you have your microphone that?
No, it's super lo-fi. It's the inbuilt microphone from the MacBook.
Oh, nice one. I'll have to listen to it because I reckon that probably came out fairly alright. And if you do nice acoustic tunes and singing and stuff, it could be enough.
Because the microphone's not good enough. I couldn't just do a nice acoustic guitar because it would sound a bit tinny and horrible. So I've actually used the effects you can use to make it. So it actually sounds more like electric guitars, but it's just my acoustic guitar through the inbuilt mic with effects.
Oh,
and then
okay.
And then I do the bass lines and then take them down and an octave and then do the bass lines and then drums are just virtual drummer. You can program drums on there.
Oh, perfect, man.
Then Hannah doing backing vocals.
If you were to do say if comedy was ever to start up again in the long distant future, would you ever do backing tracks live? Has it kind of got you to kind of maybe think that I would like to have drums live, or I would like to do something like that live?
I would only ever do it if I could have a band. I think that would be fun. I'd always love to do that. I love stuff like the horn section, and I liked it when when Flight the Conchords bring people out and they get an extra banter with the guy who's the I don't know whether it was the Auckland Philharmonic Orchestra is what one guy.
You can borrow Morgan. He's a fucking pro at this stage.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll come out and do it. I've tried to do kind of backing tracks or loops and stuff like that. I've attempted to do it live a few times, but I've always found if you have a full song, just backing track, it has to be a great song and there's no opportunity to deviate from it. So even if you need an extra half a second because there's a certain bit of a laugh or something happens or you need to change the pace slightly, you don't have that if you have a full backing track. Whereas you do if you're playing guitar, you can pause for an extra long moment. That's exactly why I wouldn't do it as well, because I think that clip as well, I tuned in to see that what clip it was, and the bit I saw of it was why I had to turn it off as well. It was because I was rambling so much, and it was because I just see someone in the audience do something and I'm so easily distracted, and I hate watching it back because all I think is get on with it, just do the thing. I'm just like, oh look, she's talking to hello, and sometimes that can work in a song when something happens and you can pick up on it. Not in that last clip, I went overboard, but when it does work, it's good. And I think you can't do that, like you said, in the backing track. I like yours because you've got loops and you can pause it and you can re-loop. Oh yeah, it's been a really, really nice thing because I have a lot of straight stand-up that I do. But now, if I like when you do stand-up over a loop. I love when you did that. Yeah, that's what I've only. It's such a pity because I was doing that for about a month. And it was hitting hard, and I was finding a new voice in some ways, and I was writing a lot more, and the shows were going better, and I was envisioning even doing a new hour-long show with this type of vibe to it, and just when I was getting going on it, and I had for the past year I've been just playing around with loads of different ideas and just always performing, but always just trying out random stuff, and nothing really hit hard. But then once I started kind of doing backing tracks and then playing music live and then just talking over it rather than trying to do a song, almost like chatting over it but with stand-up, yeah, it was really really nice, and I really want to get back doing that. Like it'd be nice to start
I
doing.
think it would be great to do that because then actually having punctuating it with a few songs.
Yeah.
And then you could maybe do a bit where you do completely stop the loop for a bit, but having all of those things together means that cause otherwise an hour is just a bit too. It mixes it up. You could do loads of stuff.
Yeah, there's people who can do an hour and they go up and they talk for an hour and they're fucking amazing. But usually they have like 15, 20 years experience of being a club comic.
Usually, yeah.
And to do it well, like everyone else who does it, and I'm victim of it as well. Oh, they have, oh, this is a projector and here's some bullet points to help me remember the whole hour. Like, you know.
I was living with Andy Field when he was doing one of his. It wasn't his first Edinburgh show, but it was the first time where he did like at the Pleasance with a big, the big room, and it was a really great show, and it was all his best bits really, and it was but the device he had was that the words to the next subject would just come up on the screen. He would go, yeah, about Robocop, and then he would do the bit, and then it would come up, and he'd go, yeah, about that, and then I said, why did you do that? And he's like, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, just do that and make it look like it's. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, just totally. You do need a way to remember rather than just writing it down on your hand, which is the classic method, you know.
I just like the way he just went big with it. He was like, I could hide that under a bottle, and he went the opposite way. He just thought, just put it there.
Yeah.
There's no hiding. You can see what I'm doing.
What are you going to go at for the rest of the evening? Just chill out.
Yeah, we've been watching movies like every night that sort of passed one of us by.
Any recommendations? I'm always looking for one.
Well, they're always they're ones that. I tell you, what was the last one we watched that was really good? Blue Story. Blue Story. Did you hear about that? It got a lot of press last year because there was like in Birmingham there was some kids had a riot at it because it's about gangs, like young gangs. Yeah. And in Birmingham, some gangs chose the screening of it to have a gang fight, and so it got banned in all cinemas. But it's about not like the perils of gang culture. So yeah, but it is a really good movie.
I used to be in a gang. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, of course you were in a gang. Yeah, the what were they called again?
The Yellows.
The Yellows. That was it. Yeah. And how many was there? How many of you was there?
It was just me.
Yeah, that was it.
Smallest possible gang. I was trying to recruit people, but they thought it was a race thing, and I was like, no, it's just the only colour that was still available. Sorry. And
they were always freaked out when you turned up because you gave it a plural name.
Where's the other one? There's someone else here. I know it. It's like, no.
And then there was another band called The Red, and there was 80 of them.
It was a very optimistic band name. All right, that's cool. We're going to wrap it up now, John, but thanks a million for chatting. You're very, very sound, and I might check out the movie, and we'll chat again, because I'm cycling through all my friends, so I'll be asking you back again fairly soon, no doubt.
I'd love to, yeah. I would love to come back. Good to see you, mate.
All right,
you
too, dude.
Good seeing you, man.
Cool, man. All right, take it easy. Good luck. Yeah. All right. We did it, Morgan. Another live stream. Completo.
9 in the bag, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why I said yellows there. It very quickly was going to turn racist.
Should I take that off the highlight list? Or?
I did instantly. I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, I'll think of new jokes for next week that aren't race related, I suppose. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That's my comedy. That's what I do. John was very cool for coming on. It was nice chatting to him. Who do we have on? Oh, tomorrow we're doing the community highlight. So me and Morgan, we spent last week, we're going through a lot of different people who had submissions, and we're looking at different people who kind of wanted to go on it and had stuff going on it. And then we found out at about 12 o'clock today in our daily meeting that we totally didn't plan it at all, and no one was confirmed. So we had to sort that out today, but it's all right, it's all done now. We're going to have Sam Russel on tomorrow. He's going to talk about Shoot From The Hip, which is an improv group that play here all the time. So we had a lot of stand-ups on, we had a lot of sketch people on over the past while, so it's nice to get some of the improv crew in. He'll be chatting a bit about his own isolation, improv, and what he does here, and they even do some courses and stuff like that. So once this is all over and you feel like chatting to someone, hanging out, we'll be able to talk to him about that, and we'll see some of the stuff that they do as well. They done it in other theatres and they play here regular as well. Then later on in the week, Thursday, who are we chatting to on Thursday?
Steve Bennett.
Oh no, Marie Shahada, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, yes.
Yeah, Steve Bennett's next week. He's a friend of mine from back home. He's a comic. He's about my age. He's very sound. There's another reviewer Steve Bennett. I haven't asked him to chat yet, but sure we might. Who knows?
Yeah, Maria Shahada on.
Maria Shahada tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's from America, so the live stream's going international. Nice. But she's also my friend who lives in London for the past 10 years. So yeah, she'd be good fun to talk to. Be nice chatting to her. And then Friday and Saturday we have From the Archive again. So we're prepping some of them. We're getting the edits ready, and we're having a good. I'm just looking over at the screen there. What's the top like? This is like urban camouflage or something, is it? It looks a bit weird.
It's really tight on your muscles. You've really shown them off this week.
Nice.
Got
Welcome to the comedy. Alright, that's enough for me. I'm clearly running away with myself. I'm going to wrap it up before I make a total fool of my face. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Say goodbye, Morgan.
So long, guys.
Good luck. Alright, and we'll chat to you tomorrow. Thanks a million for watching. Good luck.